My name is Zach, I'm 17, and I run an AI SaaS business that makes over $200,000 per year in annual recurring revenue. And so far, over the last few months, I've spent over $20,000 in API credits on the Gemini API. So anyways, a few days ago, Gemini released their new model, Gemma 4, which is entirely free and open source, and you can actually run it on your local computer. And you don't have to have some crazy research grade $20,000 computer or a $10,000 Mac Studio or anything complicated like that. You can run Gemma 4 on something as small as a Mac Mini. In fact, I actually have Gemma 4 running on the Mac Mini right behind me right now, and it's installed with my OpenClaw, which means I can run my OpenClaw with a high level of intelligence completely free without spending a single dollar on API credits. In fact, I've completely replaced my previous cloud API services with Gemma 4. And if you're familiar with the OpenClaw or AI automation space at all, you'll know that recently Claude actually cracked down on using a Claude subscription to run on your OpenClaw. So now that major AI companies are cracking down on people using cloud models for their OpenClaw, the next most logical step is to just run local models, because local models are completely private by design. They're super fast because you don't have to wait for the APIs to actually be called inside the cloud, and they're completely free. The only cost is the electricity of actually running the models on your computer. And the crazy thing about Gemma 4 is that it's super intelligent despite being super small, and you can literally run it on basically any hardware. All right, so before I show you guys how to actually set this up and added this to your OpenClaw or whichever AI agent system you're working with, I want to show you guys this blog that Google actually released as part of this giant Gemma 4 release. So as part of this blog, Google actually released this graphic right here comparing Gemma to a whole bunch of different open source models that you can locally run. And on this graph, there is two axes. So here on the bottom is the total model size in billion parameters. So basically how big the model is. And then here we have the ELO score, which is basically how good the model is, how smart it is, and how good it is at like actually completing tasks. So if we look here, we can see that there's a whole bunch of different models like Qwen 3.5, GLM5, Kimi K2, and these are pretty popular locally run models that people have been using in this space. And we can see that they're still slightly ahead of Gemma, but if we look down here at the total model size, these ones are many times larger than the Gemma models right here. And the big problem with these more powerful models here in the top right is that they actually require a lot more resources to run. A lot of these things here in the top right, you need things like Mac Studios or more expensive computers to actually run with a lot more power. But these Gemma models are still almost just as good, and you can run them on basically any hardware. Now, one of the reasons why Google actually developed Gemma is for mobile first AI. So Google actually wants to run these locally on cell phones because obviously right now most cell phones aren't powerful enough to actually run local models. But with Gemma, you can actually run this on even hardware like just a random cell phone. Now, there's a few updates here that really make Gemma one of the best open models. So obviously it can be used for things like agentic workflows. So if you're building something like OpenClaw or Paperclip or Hermes or one of these AI agent tools, you can use Gemma very easily inside these tools. And in my experience, I found that Gemma has been really great for my OpenClaw. Obviously, it can also do code generation. Gemma can help you vibe code websites, build SaaS applications, and build projects on your device. And it's also a multimodal model, so it can natively process video and images. So if you're chatting with your Gemma agent inside of OpenClaw in your Discord chat and you upload an image, Gemma can actually see that, just like all of the cloud-based models. It also has a longer context than previous versions, but again, what makes it really powerful is that it can be run on almost any kind of hardware. Now, Gemma is fully open sourced with the Apache 2 license, which means anybody can install this and run this locally completely for free. So you can literally run your OpenClaw agents free without having to worry about any cloud API costs. And this completely changes the game for people who are already in this space, because most of us have probably already spent thousands of dollars on our OpenClaw agents, just in API costs alone. But with things like Gemma, we can now just run the model locally and not have to pay a single cost, which means pretty much anybody can now get started with an OpenClaw agent basically for free. If you have some old dusty laptop lying around, you can just install Gemma and OpenClaw, and you have a full AI agent that can now work for you. And what's even crazier about this is that you can run basically 24/7 AI businesses using this. One of the main features OpenClaw has that makes it so attractive is that it can run cron jobs and scheduled workflows. But the major limitation with these in the past has been that if you're running the same workflow every 8 hours or so, you're going to be racking up a pretty high API bill. But since it's locally run, it's completely free, so you can run as many workflows as you want all the time. All right, so here I am in Discord, and this is where I actually talk to my AI agent Adonis, which I built using OpenClaw. I actually showcased how I built this a few days ago in one of my recent videos. But basically what this OpenClaw does for me is it can design thumbnails for me for my YouTube channel. It can can research and analyze my competitors. It runs many aspects of my business, and I basically use it as my private personal assistant to help me run my business. Now, anyways, earlier today, after I set up Gemma on my OpenClaw, we were talking about how to make a video for my main channel, Zachary Donovan Official. We were talking about different videos that we were working on. And the great thing about Gemma is that it's just as powerful as some of the cloud models. Previously on this bot, I was actually running Gemini's 3 Pro model as the brain behind my OpenClaw because it was relatively inexpensive compared to some of the other cloud models. And this one works just as well. I literally noticed no difference between them. As we can see here, I had it do a pretty complicated task for me. I asked it, Adonis, can you pull the transcripts of my most recent videos and put the intros here? Then we'll use it to come up with an intro for this video. It pulled the transcripts and then actually later helped me come up with the intro that I actually used when I recorded that video earlier today. So it can actually do really complicated agentic tasks very well. And again, this was completely free. Previously, every conversation I had with this agent would cost me money in API credits. But now that it's locally run, it's completely free. The only thing that costs me money at all are some external APIs like the Nano Banana image API that I have enabled. But other than that, every message I send is free. All right, so just to show you guys how powerful Gemma is, I want to show you guys a few use cases here that really illustrate how powerful this model can be. So I'll go ahead and send a message over to my agent. Build me a website for my personal brand based on everything you know about me. Link my YouTube channels and my school community, and also have a section detailing my recent projects that we've been working on. Put this into a file and put it on my desktop, then send it to me inside the Discord channel. Cool. So I'll send this over to the AI, and now it's going to vibe code me an entire website I can use for my personal brand. And just like that, after only a few minutes, my AI agent has completely vibe coded me a personal website for my personal brand. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'll go ahead and just download this as HTML. Then I'll open this in a new tab. And overall, this looks really, really good, especially for an AI website that it made in like less than 10 minutes. We take a look here at the hero section. It introduces me, gives me context about who I am. It linked my YouTube channels here as well, my main channel, and then also the channel you're watching right now. If we look here under the recent build section, it also talked about the recent projects I've been working on with my OpenClaw. Talked about some updates I added to my SaaS to increase retention and changing the onboarding. It also talked about a recent YouTube video I filmed and created using my OpenClaw as well. And it even introduced one of the most recent projects we worked on, which was migrating my OpenClaw workflow to Gemma 4, so that way I can vibe code with zero API costs. And if we look down here, it also added some cool images. I did tell it in one of my last prompts to feel free to use the Nano Banana API I gave it so it could generate images and graphics. And I think that this looks pretty good. Gave us a momentum timeline here. And overall, this looks really, really good. I'm really happy with how this website came out, especially for something that the AI made in like only a few minutes. And the great thing about this is that it was completely free. I didn't have to pay a single cent in API credits to create this website. Had I had my Claude account connected to this, I would have to be paying for my Claude API bill or my Claude subscription. Had I had Codex connected to this, the same thing. I would have to be paying API credits for it to build this thing for me. But literally, it vibe coded this whole website for me in like a few minutes, and it was free. I can't keep stressing how great this is, guys. This is a breakthrough in AI. There's no more excuse for why you don't have an AI agent built right now. It's literally free. All you need is an old laptop or old computer you're not using anymore. Install OpenClaw, which is free, and install Gemma 4, and you literally have a full AI agent you can talk to 24/7 that can be your 24/7 AI employee and do basically anything for you. So that was a pretty cool use case. Let's see what else this AI agent can do. So I went ahead and shot another message over to my agent and I said, can you build me something cool? Surprise me in the audience. Give me the HTML here. And I will let it build. All right, so the AI agent just got back to me after only a few minutes and it gave me this full HTML file. So let's download this. And boom, that's actually pretty cool. We have a live mission control center for our Gemma 4 agent, which is actually pretty cool. Now, I'm actually not running it on this machine, so I don't think that this actually works. I'm actually filming this on my laptop right now and just communicating with it over Discord. In order to actually use this mission control, I'd probably have to run it on my Mac Mini behind me, but this is still definitely a pretty cool thing it made for me. All right, so just to sum up everything here, you need to get on Gemma right now. If you don't already have an OpenClaw, you need to set up one ASAP. If you're still watching this and you don't have an OpenClaw, there's literally no excuse not to have one. You can run it for free. All you need is a little piece of hardware, and it can run on basically anything, even like the smallest Mac Mini. The Mac Mini I have right behind me is literally the cheapest $600 Mac Mini that's for sale right now. This is literally like having super intelligence available for free for you 24/7. And one crazy thing about this is you can run this AI without having access to the internet. You could literally vibe code something on your computer without having to be connected to the cloud, which is just amazing. So if you're on an airplane ride or on a long trip in the middle of nowhere, you can just vibe code on your laptop if you have Gemma installed. Now, to actually get this installed onto your OpenClaw, it's actually really simple. The way I did it was I literally just chatted with my agent Adonis, and I asked him to just do the research for me and install it for me, and he did exactly that. My AI agent picked out the correct version of Gemma to install according to my Mac Mini's requirements, installed it for me, did everything for me, and got it running. Now, of course, if you're going to be installing this from scratch and you don't already have your OpenClaw set up, it'll again be very simple. You'll just go through the OpenClaw onboarding, and when you're there, just make sure you have Gemma downloaded and configure it as the model you're going to use. But if you already have OpenClaw set up, you can literally just chat to it and it'll set it up for you. Now, if you're the kind of person who wants to make money using AI and you want to run a semi-autonomous AI business using tools like OpenClaw and various AI agents, go ahead and check out my school community, the 10K MRR Blueprint. Currently, it's still in pre-launch because I'm still recording the course modules, but once I release the full course on April 10th, I will be switching this over to a paid group. So if you join before April 10th, you'll get free lifetime access to the group. Inside there, I'll be adding all my best resources and my full AI SaaS course, where I go into exactly how to build a profitable AI SaaS without being technical or knowing how to code. But anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for now. Please subscribe. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and it would really mean the world if you just hit that button. And as always, guys, stay excellent.